Before we start, I'm giving away all my preset packs for channel members and patrons, and that includes preset packs for Cherry Audio synths. In a way, you can get presets for Atomika, Yellowjacket, Synth, Elka-X, and more for just $3. Of course, the invitation is that you continue supporting me throughout the months. Thank you so much. Hey! So, new synth by Cherry Audio, and you know that means that I have a video ready for it. This time they're emulating the Crumar Spirit, a synthesizer that was designed by Moog himself. The original wasn't only fat and beefy, but it also had some nice little tricks. So today we're going to check out what Cherry Audio did with it, and also what they added to make it more special and powerful. So let's start. So on the surface it looks like the Crumar with a little bit of extra features. It has two basic oscillators, but already on the filter you can see that's a little bit more special. It has the cutoff point and the resonance, but you can also see that it has a parallel filter too. It can be set to high pass, band pass or overdrive, and they share the resonance amount, but the cutoff point can be set independently. Thanks to that, for instance, you can see in this visualizer that we have two resonant peaks. This gives a very rich sound that's different from a regular filter. And getting ahead of myself, for instance, you can control the lower cutoff point with the Moog-X, which is an LFO. And then with the envelope you control the master cutoff point and you get this sort of phasey kind of effect. Now if you think that one LFO is too little, well, you can select the second oscillator to be wide and go below audio rate, and then select it as a mod source on the matrix. Off camera, my cat told me she wants you to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. If you don't want to do it for me, do it for her. Thank you so much. Now, what's crazy about the mod matrix is as it lets you select oscillators as a source, you can get audio rate kind of sounds that were not possible on the original. Just with that, this is taking the original concept to a more modern kind of synthesizer. I mean, audio rate always unlocks a lot of possibilities. But what's the deal with this Shaper Y? Well, you can see here at the left that we have an audio mixer and we have two sections. These are actually two different paths. One is the oscillators through the filter and the envelope for the amplitude and the filter. And the other is the oscillators going directly to Shaper Y, which controls the amplitude of this second path. Thanks to the mode, you can set it to be like a constant LFO or some sort of envelope, and you can go from a down ramp to an up ramp and a triangle in the middle. Besides that, it also functions like a modulator for some of the parameters. What I like to do with this is, for instance, send one oscillator to the filter and the other to Shaper Y and create like an after image thanks to the up ramp. By the way, if you like the sounds that I'm showing here and you also want more original sounds, you can download them for free if you're a channel member or a patron. I upload presets all the time, so consider joining the platform you like the best. Now, if you don't want to pay for a subscription, you can always buy me a coffee on my Ko-fi page. All the links are in the description. Other than that, we have pretty typical stuff like the voicing or the unison and even an arpeggiator. But you can also see that we have this cycling type of voicing. If you remember the Yellowjacket, the last instrument from which I have a preset pack that's on sale right now, links are going to be in the description. It also had these different voices controls. You can set it to multi or cycle, and each new voice you press is going to be assigned to a new slot of these voices, up to 4. Then you can edit all of the parameters that you see here, for instance, the pitch, the panning, or the cutoff point. It's pretty fun, for instance, to combine these 3 parameters with the preator. It also works wonderfully when you want to have a wider kind of sound for a chord. Now, of course, Cherry Audio also added effects for this synth, which makes it bigger and gives you more options for sound design. Now, the interesting thing is that the filter path and the shaper Y path have different chains, so their effects are unparalleled. The filter path has a flanger chorus, a delay, and a reverb, and it also has the distortion, which can give you very rich sound, especially when you go crazier with the resonance on the filter. Remember that we have 2 resonant points, so the result is going to be a little bit crazy. And by the way, I forgot to show you how the overdrive sounds on the filter, because it's a different type of saturation than the distortion. So yeah, it also has a somewhat complex and very fun to use distortion circuit. On the other hand, the shaper Y path is very interesting because the first effect is a filter. It's interesting because maybe you want to also have a filter to shape better the sound of shaper Y, so it's not too harsh. Or you can control better the type of content you want on the sound. So I think it's a super nice addition to actually have a filter where originally it wasn't. Then we have a phaser that the other path didn't have, then the flanger chorus and the delay. So we are missing the distortion and the reverb, but that's fine. So Cherry Audio is once again taking an original hardware synthesizer and, thanks to All Things Digital, is expanding it into something bigger. I mean, we have a 2-layer synth with a very special filter, and each layer has its own effects. Not only that, we have audio rate possibilities and the different voice cycles and multis. So in no way it feels limiting. On the contrary, it lets you expand your sound design palette. But of course, what's most important, rather than my opinion, is yours. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about the Crumar Spirit by Cherry Audio? Thank you so much for watching, I will see you next time, and bye bye!